All right, y'all. Welcome back, Allnighters listeners. Today we're going to be covering the Week 10 of the NFL. Starting off, Bengals Ravens. What do you think about that game?
I think it was a good game. I think, first off, I know Jordan's going to talk about this, but the defense on both sides was atrocious. Joe Burrow and Lamar just had their way with everybody, Jordan can talk about how the Ravens defense always keeps letting him down. Because, how do you even explain that?
Not to mention the Bengals defense, absolutely abominable, atrocious, Hall of Fame bad, first ballot Hall of Fame ASS All Pro division.
Have you seen Jamar Chase's stats? In that game, he had 11 catches, 264 yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns. Oh my goodness.
Every time Jamar plays us, he has a Hall of Fame game, bro. I tell you, I kid you not. We single-handedly will put him in the Hall of Fame. The Ravens alone. They just go off of his stats against the Ravens. He's first ballot Hall of Fame lock.
Oh my God, the past 2 games against the Ravens, he has had 5 touchdowns and almost 500 yards. That's more than any Bucs receiver in Tampa Bay. Jesus. I just, don't get me wrong. Lamar and Jamar did save me in fantasy, so my kudos to them. But oh my God, for the Baltimore defense, if Lamar didn't come in the clutch, I don't know how this game would have went.
Another thing I got to bring up, the cameraman did not cook, man. The cameraman, that play where Derrick Henry got pulled down, the cameraman zoomed in when all of us looked away.
He was not cooking at all.
He joined the wrong team. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
All right, man. What you think about Chargers-Titans?
The Chargers-Titans, I think, honestly, the Titans, it was a regular game, a good tanking game for them. We're seeing how good they can tank, and I'll give them A+ on tanking. For the Chargers, honestly, I feel good that they're winning, and they're getting used to Jim Harbaugh's system because he's bringing in a lot of good defense and a lot of running plays. As you can see, J.K. Dobbins is having a good game rushing, him and Gus Edwards, and somehow we had a Justin Herbert touchdown rushing. I've never seen that before. So I'll give Jim Harbaugh some credit.
Yeah, that's a good warm-up game before we get into the Chiefs again and before we get on with the season. Yeah, it's encouraging to see how well we're playing with the first-year coach and Jim Harbaugh. Well, not first year, but first year on the team. And I like the signs. It's a lot of good signs. All right, man, what you think about Giants-Panthers?
First off, I knew that coming into this week, nobody's going to decide to watch that game, even the fans, because, let's be honest, both teams haven't done well this season at all. And the expectations, they were low, they've gone lower. Yeah.
Yeah, thank God the NFL put them on, what's it called? They send... I've noticed with the NFL, they put all the teams we don't want in the international time slot. They have them play butt fuck in the morning because no one wants to see that.
They had them playing at 8 o'clock for no reason. Germany fans, they'd be like, "Oh my God, we're watching a good NFL team," but Americans know truth. You can't fool us.
Yeah, they just ship off all the shit teams to Europe.
Yeah. So yeah, Panthers, congratulations on winning. But the Giants, y'all have the first overall pick. Do as y'all please. And as I'm noticing, it's trending on Daniel Jones' end of tenure with the Giants. So, hey, I'm just guessing. So it just depends on what the Giants owners does.
Yeah, and after that play where Saquon did a reverse spin hurdle, you can't even do that shit in Madden. And he did that in a game.
He did that.
And the Giants could have kept him. And they decided, nah, let's go Daniel Jones. Let's give this man a full max contract. Hall of Fame.
They sold. That's all I have to say for the Giants. Sold. Generational selling.
All right, man. What you think about Broncos Chiefs?
First off, God damn it. Everyone wanted the Chiefs to lose that game, but somehow the God in the sky said no. this is not the game the Chiefs are gonna lose. Like, how do you tell a Broncos fan that they are in the Chiefs 35 and they have the easiest way to kick a field goal and win the game, but somehow lose because the Chiefs defense said, "Hell no, not today."
Hell, Robin, no.
No.
And the what's it called? The Broncos, they didn't even block that play, bro.
They didn't block. They
just said, "My time has come. Let's rest."
They did a TSA pre-check. They said, "Right this way."
Not even a pre-check. Them niggas just fell asleep.
Yeah, they just. I don't even know how. Y'all, the Broncos know that the game is on the line, and they're like, okay, we're gonna just let the Chiefs defense bully us while we let our kicker down because he looked like he was gonna make it. He was going straight. Then we saw the defense of the Chiefs say, "No, not today," and now the Chiefs are 9-0. Like, for the NFL, this means that we are cooked indefinitely. There's no teams that can really beat the Chiefs right now as I'm talking to you because...
I'll counter that. The Bills will beat them in the regular season.
Okay. That's what he's trying to say, but I don't know, Jordan.
I mean, look at last year. They beat them in the regular season last year. The Bills can beat the Chiefs in the regular season, not the playoffs, though.
That is true. But to Jordan's statement, the only reason why the Chiefs the Bills beat the Chiefs last year was because of Von Miller. He had a ridiculous play, a pressure on Mahomes, and Mahomes threw a pick. But right now, Mahomes and the refs, they're looking tighter than last year. The refs look like they've improved with Mahomes, and it's more than just a relationship now. It's a bond. It's a strong bond.
It's an emotional connection. It's emotional attraction.
Exactly, attraction. So I don't know if the Bills would have the superpower to beat the Chiefs in the regular season now, because even the Broncos with the easiest field goal couldn't beat the Chiefs. Nobody's stopping them.
All right, I didn't see this game, but this game pissed me off. The Steelers Commanders. As a Ravens fan, this shit pissed me off, bro. How teams keep letting the Steelers win, and they're still on fire watch. Other than their defense, I'll give it to you. Other than their defense, how do teams keep just allowing the Steelers to win, bro?
First off, if you don't score any touchdown passing, that's how you lose a game to a team or the Steelers with Mr. Unlimited throwing 3 touchdowns and 195 yards. If your franchise quarterback in Jaden Daniels cannot find a passing touchdown, then there's no way you're gonna win.
Yeah, especially with TJ Watt, man. That guy's a one-man wrecking ball when it comes to teams, bro. Every time I see him, he gets like either a strip sack, a pick, or like a batted pass, or he's unstoppable.
He's a certified Hall of Famer right now. Certified. So I'll give the Steelers credit with Mr. Unlimited and newly acquired Mike Williams, who just got a touchdown with the Steelers. Meanwhile, in the Jets, they were complaining that Mike Williams was the problem when he was with Aaron Rodgers. See how the tables have turned.
All right, man, what you think about, what's it called? Vikings-Jaguars.
That game, my bad. Doug Pearson has to go. I'm sorry. As a fan of a Florida team and the Buccaneers, I know I'm saying Todd Bowles has to go. But the Jaguars, he doesn't have to come back to the NFL no more. They need to give him a one-way ticket to Hawaii to enjoy himself with his family, because how do you lose to a team that only kicked field goals where you guys scored a touchdown? Like, explain that to me.
Yeah, bro. And Darnold was doing his best to impersonate prime Jameis Winston, bro. He was giving up gifts left and right.
Like 3 picks, no touchdowns, and they still won? Oh my God. How bad do you have to be that bad? Like, I don't even think Albert Einstein can even solve the equation for the Jaguars.
You think they're just a cursed franchise, man?
Nah, they ain't cursed. They're just cooked. All
right, man, what you think about Saints-Falcons?
Since they're in my division, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, there's goods and bads to this game for me. As an NFL fan, the Saints, if you've noticed, they've looked terrible for the past 7 weeks coming up because I don't even know how to explain it. Like, defense, offense, not clicking.
Mike Thomas calling people out.
Exactly.
He looks like a Winco brand 21 Savage, and he's calling everyone out. He's calling Derek Carr out.
He's giving the Antonio Brown impression when he left the Bucs. So I don't know what's going on with that.
He's the clutching on the glizzies with the fellas 21 edition.
Oh no. Yeah. So yeah, the Saints they've been going through some stuff. They just fired their head coach, their former head coach and DA, and put Mr. Riz himself. And the results showed they won the game against the Falcons. And don't get me wrong, I always knew the Falcons were frauds. But if you play against us, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, you look like a Hall of Famer. So I'll give the Saints credit where it's due in beating the Falcons. But there's a problem. And there's a problem for us as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan. If the Saints are 3-7 and the Panthers are 3-7, that means the Buccaneers might not make the playoffs the way we're playing, because we just lost 4 in a row, whereas the Saints just won one game after losing 7 in a row, and we're going on a bye week. So that's something to look out for a Buccaneers fan. And the Falcons, I think they're on fraud watch right now. They're not frauds, but they're on fraud watch.
All right, this is disappointing for you. Next game, Bucks 49ers.
Like continuation of what I was talking on before, I didn't really have expectations for this game because we're depleted. We're a hungry team with all our players, our star players getting hurt, and it's just like God is telling them, "Hey, today's not going to be your day." Like, how do you explain to me our best tackle just get hurt in the one game that he was cooking Nick Bosa, the Mr. Make America Great Again defensive end, the one that's I'm the best defensive end, but when he played against Tristan Wirfs, he looked like a primetime Todd Bowles, which was not good. Like, we were having good plays at the beginning of the game. We were holding Brock Purdy, but the offense couldn't deliver early. That's why the defense collapsed. And Brock Purdy looked like primetime Joe Namath on us. And it just hurt my soul. Don't get me wrong. Ricky Pearsall is a good wide receiver, but that man was shot. He's not even meant to be walking. God forgive me. And, like, he just scored a touchdown on us. A 1 yard, a 1 catch, 47-yard touchdown. Like, what is our defense doing? We're making them look like primetime Ravens.
Oh, yeah, don't forget where Vita Vea dropped back into coverage.
Okay, all right. So, and that, too, I don't know what Todd Bowles' blitzes are doing, but they're not doing magic. Like, he sends out the biggest, the heaviest of the defensive linemen to go play coverage when he's blitzing the linebackers and the safeties. Like, how is that going to affect Christian McCaffrey? How is that going to affect George Kittle? How is that going to affect Brock Purdy? Like, these guys are called the yards after catch motherfuckers. Like, these are the guys that catch the ball and take it to the house. If nobody's near them, or if someone's near them, they can break tackles. So what is the point of that?
And Jordan Mason was cooking too.
He was cooking. Even though he was not the starter, he was a backup, and he was cooking them. Christian McCaffrey just came out for injury, and he just showed that, hey, I'm back. I'm him, exactly. So, yeah, don't get me wrong. The Niners still on a fraud watch, but
I won't say fraud watch. With the Niners, it's injury watch.
They're like us. They're the Buccaneers. We're on injury watch, too. So, okay, we'll end it on there.
All right, man. Who you got? Bills, Colts.
Who I got?
Did I say who I got? What'd you think of that game?
So yeah, the Bills Colts. Honestly, I thought it was gonna be a blowout. That's why I started the Bills defense on fantasy, and they delivered early. They gave me 20 fantasy points immediately, and I was like, wow, I believed in them. But they still let the Colts come back in the game a little bit, even though the game was kind of over. And it shows me, and it tells me that the Bills, I don't know, they're like a good team. They're a contender, but they are not ready for the Chiefs. I know Jordan's going to tell me, oh, they can beat the Chiefs in the regular season. And the playoffs, they're just going to lose to them. But, like, what's the point of beating them in the regular season when the playoffs is just all that matters for the past every year? Like,
for the past every year.
Like, the Chiefs have won back-to-back Super Bowls, and all the Bills have done is said, oh, we got them better and better. But y'all not doing nothing. Y'all just getting better and better for no reason.
All I got to say is wide right.
Wide right, exactly. Like, why?
That's their franchise.
No, their franchise is when Darvin Ham. Not Darvin, I said Darvin Ham. What's his name?
Damar Hamlin?
Damar Hamlin, there we go. They're both terrible. But Damar Hamlin, they had him on 4th and 6. They were going to punt the ball, and they did a fake for Damar Hamlin to run 2 yards just for the Chiefs to snuff out the trick play and convert it to make the offense come on the field. Like, that just sums up the Bills' defense and the Bills' team in general. They're like contenders, but they're like pretender contenders. There we go. That's my name for them, the PC. pretender, contender.
I won't go that far. I mean, I don't think the Ravens beating either team. To be honest, I don't think they're beating the Bills. I don't think they're beating the Chiefs, definitely. Hell, it might not be the Texans or the Steelers, man. Like, our defense is shot right now. Our pass defense is... I don't know what happened, bro. Like, we have good players. Is it the new coordinator? It's his first year. But I don't know, man. So we'll have to see with the Bills.
Yeah, and the coach is just cooked. They started Joe Flacco, and they thought Joe Flacco was going to be the answer. But right out of the bat, three interceptions, 2 touchdowns. He's looking like Jameis Winston, but a white version of Jameis Winston. So, yeah.
Hey, don't disrespect the Super Bowl champ, man.
My apologies.
With the Ravens.
Yeah, my apologies. Mr. Joe Namath out there, won Super Bowl, nothing to show for it. All right.
Nah, don't do that, fool. All right, man. Who you got? Patriots Bears. What you think of that game?
Honestly, I thought the same thing as the Panthers and the Giants, just not watchable in my opinion, because right now the Bears are looking like a shell of themselves. At some point they were 4-2, now they're 4-5. They've lost 3 in a row, and their head coach Matt Eberflus, if I'm wrong, Eberflus, close enough.
Close enough.
Exactly like
he's playing like Eberflus.
He's Eberflus, exactly like
he's coaching like Eberflus.
He is coaching like Eberflus. Like the team is not where it's meant to be. Like after that Hail Mary with the Commanders, they've just lost all their swag. Like the Cardinals just cooked them, and after that the Patriots with not really of a team. You know what I mean? Because they just started rebuilding, and Drake May just came and cooked them. Like don't get me wrong, Caleb Williams is a player, but How do you explain how DJ Moore and Keenan Allen have not been a factor in games? Even though they're
Don't get me started on the O-line.
Yeah, like the O-line, don't get me wrong, the Bears O-line is atrocious. But you can't tell me that DJ Moore is not getting the amount of catches that he's meant to get normally, and Keenan Allen, those are top names in the wide receiver group in the NFL. So what's going on? We need answers.
I guess that speech, what's homie's name? The coach of the Patriots, where he called him, Jared Mayo. When he called him soft, that woke him up because they've been playing the past couple of weeks.
They've been playing hard. Pause. So I'll give them their flowers. They're good. They had a good win, so congratulations to them.
Next game, Eagles Cowboys. What you think?
First off, Jerry Jones. Cowboys fans probably know this. Hey, if you're not new to the NFL world, Jerry Jones is just
he's an owner of all time.
Yeah, he's the owner of all time. Not one of the owners of all time. He's just an owner of all time. Like, right now, the Cowboys, they need help. They need depth because their players are hurt. Like, Dak just got hurt, and he underwent a season-ending injury surgery. And Michael Parsons just came back. He had a great game. Trevon Diggs came back, had a great game. But everyone else, Brandon Cooks, DeMarcus Lawrence, other players, they've been hurt. And all the Cowboys had to do before the trade deadline was trade for Jonathan Mingo, wide receiver 5 for the Panthers, who hasn't done nothing for him. Like, don't get me wrong. But Jerry Jones, he's not cooking. Like, I can do better than him on Madden than he's done in real life.
As a Madden GM?
Than in real life. Like, how do you build a stadium where the sun is reflecting directly on the pitch, which is affecting the players from scoring a touchdown? Like, I just saw that yesterday. Cooper Rush.
They got that big ass Infinity TV, that goddamn 30-foot screen jumbotron.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unnecessary, man.
It was so unnecessary. Like, Cooper Rush almost threw a touchdown to CeeDee Lamb, but he couldn't see it because the sun was in his eyes, and Jerry Jones was like, "Oh, my bad. We gotta build a race car track around the field or the stadium to make it better." That's my American dream.
Yeah, that's his American dream.
So don't get me started on Mike McCarthy too, because I don't know what's going on with him and his coaches. Because you can't tell me that Michael Parsons has a Hall of Fame game. Trevon Diggs comes back from the dead. Everyone's balling, but nobody's doing nothing to win the game. We all knew that the Cowboys were going to be frauds. They've always been frauds. But to be like this, I'm disappointed. For the Eagles, this is a good one because now they're in contention to win the NFC East over the Commanders because the Commanders lost. So we'll see how that plays out.
Okay, the Eagles, they still on fraud watch till I say otherwise.
What?
Man. With Sirianni is the coach, man. It looks like with Sirianni, he literally looks like an Eagles fan was pulled out of the crowd and just was given a clipboard and a mic.
Oh wow!
And said, "Coach."
Oh wow!
Like he looks like a fan, bro. He coaches like a fan.
Oh wow! he do coach like a fan, but hey, they got their franchise running back in Saquon Barkley. So I'm giving them credit. They have 2 franchise running backs now, Saquon and Jalen Hurts. So you got to give them their flowers. They were balling, they were rolling, and now they were 7-2. So hey, you can't complain.
All right, man. What you think about Cardinals Jets?
First off, Jets fans
need to retire the franchise.
They need to retire the franchise. You can't. How do you explain this to me? They said Mike Williams was the problem with Aaron Rodgers.
They said Robert Saleh was the problem. The guy who looks like one of my favorite comedians, Paul Verzi.
Mm-hmm. They said
he said he's the problem.
They fired him. They let him go. They put in a new head coach. They said Mike Williams was the problem. They traded him away, and they had Devontae Adams step in. Explain to me why they got cooked against the Cardinals. They didn't even have a touchdown receiving. Like, don't get me wrong. Aaron Rodgers had a great game against the Texans the Thursday night before, but what happened against the Cardinals? Are you telling me that someone else is the problem? I bet you that after the game, Aaron Rodgers said, "Oh, it was the janitor, man. He didn't clean the toilet so well." So
yeah, at this point, that's the only scapegoat remaining.
Exactly.
Is to blame the janitor.
Yeah, because they have all the pieces. Unlike other teams, they're not hurt. They're healthy. They even have Devontae, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. I can go on Tyron Smith.
Bryce Hall.
Yeah, they have players like Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner, exactly. Like Quincy Williams, their good edge rusher, and Will McDonald the fourth. Like, they have good players. So why are they not producing the way they were expected to at the beginning of the season? Like, at this point, you might just have to retire the franchise, like we said earlier. Like, it's over for them. So yeah, and for the Cardinals, that was a very much needed win in a very tight conference.
The Cardinals are the definition of inconsistency this year. It's like 1 week they get blown out by Washington 42-14.
Mm-hmm.
They get blown out by Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And then they curb stomp the Bears. They curb stomp the Jets. What else did they curb stomp? They curb stomped a couple of teams.
Hey, they're leading the division now. They have 6 or 4 wins, so a win's a win, baby. You know what I mean? A win's a win.
I mean, they still on fraud watch. I mean, I got healthy Niners. I think they're
healthy Niners.
Healthy Niners and the Lions are the 2 best teams in the NFC.
For me, in my opinion, healthy Niners, Buccaneers, and Lions. And I'm not biased because I'm a Bucs fan. I'm just saying this because I've seen what we can do with players being injured. Like, us being depleted and injured, we took the Chiefs to overtime. Us being injured, we almost won the game against the Niners. Us being injured,
almost came back against the Ravens.
We beat the Lions injured. So I see that this team and the Buccaneers can do something only if we had that players. So yeah, the Cardinals inconsistent, but they still have the division lead. What about the Seahawks? I know that they are not playing this week, but what happened?
Seahawks no longer a team. They're what's it called? They're trapped. They're trapped.
What happened?
In the fraud zone.
They had like 3 wins at the beginning of the season, and everything went to smokes. Everything went to vapor. Just disappeared.
All right, man. What do you think, Lions, Texans?
That's one of the games of all time. One of the games of a time, not of all time, because both sides didn't even want to win the game. Let's be honest. The Texans.
It's one of the games of this week.
Is that one of the games of a week? There we go. They had Jared Goff, who some people consider him in the MVP conversation.
Stephen A. Cough.
Exactly. Cough. They had Stephen A. Or they had Jared Goff in the MVP conversation alongside Lamar, Mahomes, maybe Josh Allen on the side, Jalen Hurts if it's a running back category. But Jared Goff said, "Watch this. Watch this."
5 picks later.
Watch this. Watch this. Like, if you're throwing 5 picks and 2 touchdowns and people are talking about your efficiency, they need to go do an eye test. Especially some people.
Drug test too,
because that's not an MVP in my opinion. I didn't see Lamar and Joe Burrow threw for 5 picks on Thursday night.
They threw for four touchdowns
each. Exactly. And they consider Lamar as a running back. So if an actual quarterback that can't run and Jared Goff throwing 5 picks and 2 touchdowns is an MVP, congratulations to you. But I know the NFL knows the truth and they know who the real MVP is.
Lamar got that shit unlocked. Run that back turbo, baby.
He do got that unlocked. But for the Texans, though, explain to me how you don't score in the second quarter at all. Like, what kind of black magic is that? You have C.J. Stroud in the franchise quarterback, but somehow you can't score on like 5+ straight possessions in the second half. How? The Lions were not meant to be in the game, but y'all kept them in the game. Like, if a quarterback has 5 interceptions and you score 5 touchdowns, that's like, what, 35 points? That's like, what were they doing with the possession every time he threw a pick? Punted away? Like, at that point, it's not even on the defense fault. It's on the offense. So, if the Texans really want to be contenders in the playoffs, which I don't think they're going to be because the Chiefs have that unlocked.
Chiefs, Bills,
Ravens, if the Ravens defense comes to life. But, like, if the Texans want to be contenders, they have to fix their offensive problems and immediately.
All right, man, what you think of... Actually, this game hasn't been played yet. What's your prediction for the Dolphins-Rams game?
Honestly, I don't think the Dolphins will want to play, but I do think the Rams will come and play, and it's only 2 ways he can go. If Tua is still, like, healthy, no concussion, just straight Tua, I think this is going to be a close game. But if not, it's a blowout. I see the Rams decimating, desecrating, destroying, cremating, aiding, whatever it is, dominating. Hutchinson dominating. I see him dominating them today. And it's not even going to be close. Because the Rams have something to fight for. Their division is close. It's tight. They have a chance to take the division lead or in some weeks. So, hey, it's up to them to play it out. But for now, I think the Dolphins are going to lose this game against the Rams. And one fact. Jordan, do you think Mike McDaniels is on the hot seat right now?
Hell no. I mean, they were a top-tier team last year. With Tua healthy, I still think he's a good coordinator, good coach. I say coordinator. A good offensive schemer, good coach. But he's not on the hot seat.
Okay. All right.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Tune in next week. We got more predictions later coming on. And we'll cover the games next week. See y'all.
Hope you have a good week. Peace.